Hey all, today I have a game for you in which I kind of just did everything wrong and gave it away. Um, Before that, we're just going to get into the opening, of course, where everything is equal. I start off the game with d4, and my opponent goes f5, which is the Dutch defense of the queen's pawn opening. And I have this very interesting line here where I play this move queen d3. Um, where this is it's a very strange. You just immediately attack the pawn, and the point is after d5 you want to play this move g4 and sacrifice this pawn and try to get two pawns off the board. The two pawns off the board with some counterplay on the king side and try to get your knight up here. That's the main idea of this opening. It's a very cool opening, but the problem with it is that I don't really know the theory very well. So I play this move h3 because that's kind of what I know what to do, and it's not the best move. I should just be calm and play this move knight c3 and say, okay, I have development, you have nothing except for an extra pawn, and I'm actually white is probably playing for a win here. But instead I go h3, my opponent goes knight f6, the best move. And I thought for a little bit here, and I play this move hg. Keeping with the normal play here, saying that after bishop takes, I am probably going to have some decent pressure on the h7 pawn, having my rook open, maybe I get my knight up here in the future. It's interesting play, and my opponent goes bishop g4, of course, and I go bishop g5, which was my idea. This move doesn't really work all that well. I do like the moves like rook h4. I thought even something natural like bishop f4 is probably fine, threatening a fork and like going after him pretty strongly. But actually, my opponent doesn't play that, and instead plays the best move. He goes queen d7, and I decide here very quickly that the best way to play is simply to grab the knight. Attacking this, and this move I thought wasn't going to work. I thought this move didn't work due to queen b3. I thought that this position was pretty good for white, but I guess after queen c6, I'm wrong because my opponent gets a lot of development. If I go c3, like rook b8 or something, and I guess I'm just worse. Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I would have played b4, maybe some a3. And I don't know. I don't know. It's still a game, but objectively speaking, white is worse. Okay, that's interesting. There might be even like this, for example. It's not that bad. Either way, that didn't happen during the game. My opponent, and after queen d7, I simply captured the knight, and my opponent takes on f6. And for some reason, I completely blank on the move. I really stupid. I just have rook h7, but I just missed the very simple plan of it. I thought rook h7, my opponent plays bishop f5, queen, and I didn't see this move queen d3. Queen d3 check intermezzo. I thought he just forked me and I would lose the game. But I don't lose the game at all, and I'm fine. After rook h7, I would be fine. After rook h7, my opponent probably have to take, and then I'm gonna be worse. Probably bishop f5 hits the queen, hits the pawn, and I'm losing something like this maybe, and I'm probably a lot worse. Yeah, like this is the line Stockfish gives. Actually, not bishop takes c3, just knight c6, and arguing that white is worse. Okay, that's very interesting, very instructive. Either way, after this line happens, I take, and my idea originally from the line was to play this move f3, hit the bishop back, and I want to play this move e4, takes, and have a decent center, and then I'm going to develop my pieces. This is my main idea of this opening, and I want pressure on the king side, I want pressure in the center. The queen side is normally where this opening isn't very good, but I'm already a lot worse, and I have to get it back to equality. After bishop f5, e4 was my main idea. My opponent played a very nice move. At least I thought so at the time. He played this move, bishop g6. Actually, a big mistake. Actually, it's a big mistake because it allows me to develop. He could have take and then played bishop g6. Well, actually, bishop g4 is what the engine gives. Oh, okay. The bishop g6 was kind of forced. Bishop g4 is what the engine gives. And just kind of stopping me from long castling in all lines. And if I go for something like this, We play knight c6. And I'm just kind of losing my pawn, I guess. Okay, that's interesting. That's very cool. This is a very, very interesting game. But either way, after this, my opponent just goes back to g6, and he realizes, okay, obviously this would be bad since I lose my queen. But even if I could play that move, even if like this, I'm probably just a lot worse here. So my opponent, so instead I thought for a little while, and I'm like, okay, I want to get my pieces out. I want to play, I really would like to play knight h3. And I thought about it for a while, but I thought after knight h3, my opponent would have this move bishop d6. And I thought that this wasn't very good because my knight isn't getting into the position. And actually, this move is kind of becoming a problem. So I was like, okay, no, I don't want to play knight h3. Let's instead get my pieces out in another way. Let's play bishop h3 instead, which is a much better move than knight h3. Hit the queen, get my pieces out. You can't play f5. Obviously, that's just a pawn loss. So I thought that I was doing decently. I'm down a pawn. I realize my position is worse, but I'm still fighting, and that's the point. My opponent goes queen e7, and for some reason, I was really stupid. I'm actually really mad at myself for this move. What I could have done here, for example, if I wanted to go crazy and play some stupid move, I could have played this. I mean, that's not the stupidest move in the world. It's still stupid, but it's not like the worst move ever. Instead, I played a really stupid move. Played a really stupid move. The way to make it equality right now is knight c3. Hit the pawn, defend this pawn, and actually, white has a lot of chances. But instead, after queen e7, I was like, wait, aren't I just forking you? Isn't this just a fork? This hits everything. Like if you play c3, you have this pawn. I thought, okay, that's decent, right? Isn't it just like a fork? And so I went queen b5, but I just completely missed the very obvious move c6, and the queen defends the pawn. That's what I missed. And honestly, that's one of like the worst things that happens when you miss something stupid like this. You feel pretty bad. You feel pretty stupid, I have to admit. But luckily for me, my opponent doesn't really exploit it correctly. I go queen e2. And there's play here. Takes. I go with his move c3, which I thought was natural. I probably could have played knight c3. That'd probably be more accurate. But I like just safeguarding my pawn. I'm going to lose a pawn anyway, so might as well do it like this. My opponent takes on f3. I take back with the knight. And my opponent takes here, and I take back with my king. And now, as we can see, the position is kind of a little bit crazy. I'm worse. Obviously, I'm down 2 pawns. I'm down 2 pawns, and my opponent is going to be able to, if he's smart, castle quick and get out of danger. But what I have to do here, I have to basically say, okay, I'm worse, but I have some play. I have to bring my knights out. I have to bring my rooks out to the center, to these 2 squares. These are the squares that my rooks are going to be on, so I can open it up with moves like d4, hit the king immediately, get it away from castling, and just try to win, basically. Because if I don't win right now, then I'm just simply going to lose. So my opponent plays the move bishop d6, which is a logical move. And I thought here for a little bit. He wants to castle. In fact, I don't know why he didn't castle in the next move, but you kind of have to just play the cards that you're given. If I play this move bishop e6, stopping him from castling, I thought this was a really bad move because of even queen e7, or like this move bishop f7, for example. And I didn't see any point to this. I guess technically I can win a pawn over here, but this doesn't really make the most sense to me because my bishop is like almost getting trapped and he's getting a lot of development. So I didn't play bishop e6. I instead played the best move. I played the move knight bd2. At least this engine says it's the best move. The game review engine doesn't agree with me, but I think that it's a pretty decent move. Knight bd2. Now I'm opening up my rooks. My knight's coming up here, which is the main goal. That's where I want my knight to be. And basically, if I don't have play on the king, I'm going to lose. The best move here, I don't care what the engine says. The best move here is castles. I don't care what the engine says. Best move here is castles. Simply getting the king out of danger. The rook is going to come here next, and actually it's my king in danger, and I am simply down 2 pawns. I do not know why he didn't play that move. I'm actually really confused why he didn't play that move, because he plays this move knight d7, and that allows me to start kind of making problems, and it gives me chances. It gives me chances to get the position going, and I play the move knight c4. plays move knight c4, hitting the bishop, and I'm coming in. I'm coming in. My opponent goes bishop c7, reasonable, and I go rook a d1. I thought here for a while. I thought either rook a e1, rook h e1, rook a d1. Obviously, this rook isn't going to d1. That would be stupid. Stupid because then this rook would be like left in the dust. Like if I played this move, this would be a pretty bad move because this rook is just out of play now, and I want to get both my rooks in play. So rook a1 is the move chosen, and the idea is d4, opening stuff up against the king. That's basically the idea. If I can get that working, then I'm probably doing quite well, actually, and it doesn't matter if I'm 2 pawns down if I'm mating him or I'm winning a piece, right? So my opponent goes king d8, but that's a blunder. That's a massive blunder. I thought long castles was the only move here. But I still have play after moves like d5. I can still kind of make some problems for him. I'm worse, obviously, but I have play. That's my point. He goes king d8. I don't know if this was a mouse slip or not, but he spent some time on it, so I don't think it was a mouse slip. He spent 4 seconds. I think king d8 was the move he wanted to play. And now after the move d5, it's only -1. It's only -1. It's only -1 because now I have this serious pressure on this knight that he put here. If he moves the knight here, I probably just win the game. Like dc, king e8, I can even take on b7. Like I'm just gonna win the game here. Knight a5 is the move the computer gives. Like it's kind of absurd. But after this d5, white is almost like winning. And my opponent has to play very accurately. He plays this move rook e8. I have to cut more stuff out. 12 minutes, cut it out. Yeah, and white is almost winning here, and my opponent has to really try and like survive here. And he plays this move rook e8 check, which is a reasonable move. Simply checking me out of the way. I'm forced to go to f2, which I thought was the best square for my king since it doesn't stop anything. Like if my king went anywhere else, or if I blocked with my knight, that'd be going backwards. If I went here, that'd be blocking my rook. If I went here, not there. If I went here, then I'd be disconnecting my rooks, and this rook is out of play. So I got to go to f2. Pretty easy move. My opponent plays bishop e4, and actually it's equality. It's equality now. It's equality, and I've consolidated the position, but it's only equality. It's not like equality like a bland position. It's equality as like there's still a lot of play, but it gives equal chances. I have to play DC, bishop c6, which is a pretty easy. I mean, DC was the move I was already going to play, right? So I don't have to think too much on that. But the move I next have to play is kind of absurd. I have 2 moves, really, but it all really goes down to one. Bishop f5, which is like one of them, but it's not. It's only because of the only reason this move is a thing. Actually, wait a second. After b6, actually rook h7 seems interesting. b6, rook h7, something like this maybe. Okay, this is interesting. This is interesting stuff. I don't know. But instead, the move that I have to play is this move bishop takes d7, which is kind of hard to play. And the idea is after takes, I'm simply winning the h7 pawn, which honestly was not on my radar at all. And this pawn is coming down. Like after rook e7, I'm probably even better after move knight d4, or even this move knight e3, knight e6, sorry, which I was looking at. No, actually, 96 completely loses. Okay, whatever. Don't listen to me. But like the move knight d4 would have worked here. But it's a really tricky line. I was like, why am I giving up my good bishop? I thought that the point was that the knight was weak, and I want to attack that. Like this bishop, if the bishop was here, like the king can move out of the way. The bishop has scope now. I thought that was kind of stupid, so I didn't go for that. I wasn't really looking at the move at all. I instead played this move b4. Like threatening something. I don't know. I'm just trying to make the position a little more crazy. Really, I want to play like knight e3, this, go for something like this, double up over here, win the knight. Like that's like the main idea right now. But of course he's not going to allow that, and he does a good job. He plays move b5. It's a little bit unorthodox, but it's fine. And actually here, I play the best move. I play move knight d6. And I'm simply trying to, like, I don't know, cause some issues, maybe attack this pawn, cause some problems. But my opponent quickly has some nice play here. He plays bishop b6 check. I go king g3, which is the best line. If I didn't go with that move, then after like king g2, rook e2 wins the game for black, since I can't actually do anything here. I believe it wins the game. I thought it won the game like this, but it does, but there's other lines. Knight d6, bishop b6. I have to go king g3, but this allows him to go rook e3, attacking my knight. So I have to defend it. I thought rook hf1 was the only way, but it's not. But it's not the only way. In fact, I have to go bishop g2 back. Stupid. I don't know why anyone would play that move. It looks so dumb. It's actually one of the worst. I can't speak. It's actually one of like the worst looking moves I think I've ever seen. Like, why am I coming back? This just it just doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right. For example, king c7 or something, and I thought black is probably better. No, king c7 is actually the best move. Okay, that's nice. Like black is threatening this, just grabbing off my bishop. This pawn is also just hanging in all lines. Like, there's some serious problems here. So after king g3, rook e3, have to do that. But instead I go rook hf1. It's -3. So I'm completely lost. But after king c7, I go knight f5. I hit the rook. My opponent takes this pawn. Thought taking this pawn was bad due to simply this. It's not really like one of those moves that my opponent has to think on. Also, I'm down 2 minutes on the clock, which is an issue. I don't like that. There's some problems here. Rook c3. I play this move knight e7, trying to get rid of his light squared bishop. Technically, currently I'm threatening takes and then taking this. There's still issues. Like, the issues haven't run out yet. And after knight e5, I take on c6. Of course, it's the only move since he's attacking my knight now. And like, if he takes with anything besides the king, I thought that I was doing decently. Like, if knight c6, I get in with my rook, and I have play. I'm winning these pawns over here, for example, and I might be able to get a draw or something, hopefully. Instead, he finds the best move, takes with the king. I obviously thought it was his best move, and I was like, you know what, I gotta keep making problems. I play rook c1, going for a trade of rooks. His rook is pinned to his king, so he can't do anything like that. He's forced to take. I take the knight first, which I thought was very reasonable. Pawn takes, and then I take back with check. And I thought, okay, my position isn't like the worst thing in the world. I'm down 3 pawns actually, but I might have some play here against these couple of pawns. That maybe I can like win a couple of them. I was obviously trying to get like bishop g2 going here, but my opponent wasn't going to do that. He goes king d6. Obviously, very good move. I go bishop g2, hitting the rook. Rook f8, and I go with this check. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe if he went... Actually, I don't know what I was thinking. It's a pretty bad check. He comes back, and I go back to c2. Because I realized that actually my rook isn't really doing anything up there. And I want to stop like bishop f2 stuff. So, okay, very reasonable. He goes rook f4. Okay. I go a3, defending my pawn. And now my opponent kind of goes crazy and lets me win the game. And in fact, this is the part of the game that actually made me angry. This is the part of the game where I was a little disappointed, because I was fighting back for a good portion of this game. Like, it's not the end of the world how I was playing. But after bishop f2, rook f2, king f2, I'm winning, but actually material is equal. And it's not the hardest win in the world. The next couple of moves I'm very disappointed in myself by, because out of the next 6 moves, 4 of them are mistakes. My opponent goes g5. And the move that wins the game very easily here is the move bishop f3, which I could have played in an instant. I could have played that move immediately and won the game. Bishop f3 stops these pawns from advancing. My king is going to walk up, eat this. My bishop is going to stand here, and I'm going to win the game because I simply have a bishop. Instead of bishop f3, I was playing quickly. I'm down 3 minutes on the clock, so I kind of had to. I played king e3 in 1 second. Going after this pawn. I'm still winning. h5. The only move that keeps an advantage here. Also, this is unfindable. The only move that keeps an advantage here is not one that you're ever going to find. It's bishop a8. I don't even know why this keeps an advantage. I don't know why. But I played a move that I thought was reasonable. King e4. Hitting the pawn. He goes king e6. And now I play bishop f1, which is the best move. I'm trying to come around, get a blockade on these pawns desperately. He goes a6. I go bishop e2. Another mistake. Now it's a draw. I'm not winning anymore. But after the move g4, I have nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do besides just shuffling, I thought bishop d1, and I have to shuffle. King f6. Bishop e2. I'm still shuffling. And now I'm losing. And now I'm losing because the king gets with the pawns. King g5. I take on e5. My opponent goes h4 and allows me to live one more move. King e4. Best move. I'm surviving. Whoa, g3. And now, I was like, whoa. Now my king gets involved. King f3. And I'm going to win the pawns. I'm going to win the pawns. I'm going to win the game. My opponent goes king f5. I go keep bishop f1. I stop the pawns. He doesn't have anywhere to play. His king is oppositioned. He can't get in. I'm winning. King e5. King e3. Stopping the king. King d5. King d3. Only move. King e5. I play another good move. I go bishop g2. Probably should play bishop g3. Bishop h3. Probably should have done this. Probably should have done this. Bishop g2. King e6. And I'm winning. I'm winning after 2 moves. 2 moves and I can win. King d2 and king e2 win the game. King e2 and king d2 are +6. King e2 is more +6 than the other one. Because after here, I can go king f1. This is the idea. And this is a winning endgame because my king gets involved in defending. Whoa! King f2, sorry. Whoa! It's just to show you, it's still pretty difficult here. But instead I go king d4. And I have a draw. King g4. King e3. I kind of don't want to hit the right arrow because I know what happens. But my opponent goes h3. And there's a couple of moves that work here. Actually, there are 6 moves that work here. And 1 move that doesn't work. My bishop's being threatened. Now where should I put the bishop? Should I, 1, put it on one of these 6 squares in this diagonal? Or 2, play bishop h1 and allow my bishop to be trapped? If you said one of these 6 squares, you'd be correct. If you said bishop h1, you would be me, because I play bishop h1. And now an M appears on the evaluation because after G2 I have to sack my bishop. King F2, and actually this is fine, but something like this, something like King H3, and I am in Zugzwang. I go here. When it goes King G3, I'm forced to play A4, takes here. Gotta play not A5. Gotta play A3. Sorry. Takes here, and promote to a rook. But my opponent decides to do it like this, sacks the queen, and simply wins the race. And I pre-move a little bit, but in all honesty, I don't really care. I'm losing this game. If he had one pawn here, I'd be fine. But I mean, there's nothing I can do. I just resign. Move 66 of this game. And genuinely, I don't know what I was thinking. This is, first of all, Bishop H1 is a really, really stupid move. I have no idea why I would ever play this move in a million years. I don't know why I did it. Second of all, King D4 is also pretty stupid because it's obvious you need to get back to F1. Also, King D2 is winning somehow. After this, King E2, H3, Bishop anyway, Bishop B7 only move actually. Sorry about that. Bishop B7 only move. Here. Yeah, I guess the pawns are just stopped. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say? Somehow, why is Bishop B7 the only move? Why can't I go Bishop anywhere? Why can't I go Bishop anywhere? King F4. And if I go Bishop E7 now, King E5. Oh, okay. That's very interesting. Here, H2, Bishop B7, King D4, and actually he gets to my pawns. Okay, that's a very instructive thing. But realistically, I was winning. I was pretty easily winning here too. Like, this is not hard. This isn't hard. I should have played Bishop H3. That's another thing that was really stupid of me. Just don't let the pawns go at all. Oh, no. Oh, my God. I'm just bad at chess, I guess. Well, that's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you found this entertaining. Yeah, if you did, remember to like, subscribe. I'll know what these YouTubers tell you to do. And if you watch this far, thank you. That's helpful. Most people don't. And, yeah, that's it. Good evening and good night.